having a lot of trouble finding myself. I know that's not a sentence you'll typically hear narrating a gym vlog. I should probably tell you why I've elevated my heels here or something like that, but that's not me. I'm not having trouble finding myself at all, really. What I'm having trouble with is believing that the versions of me that I show you will be versions of me that you like. It hasn't always worked out that way. When I fell in love with the way that people were sharing their fitness journeys on YouTube in 2017, I felt that spark to share. But I couldn't bring myself to do it. For years, I wondered why it took so long. Until now, I think I get it. I've been way too worried about being liked, overwhelmed by the responsibility, noticing how many different sides of myself I could choose to show, and not having the strength or courage to know which sides of myself I loved feeling within myself the most. I had way too much focus on if the people around me approved of me or were comfortable with me. Remembering the past, I remember times of being so afraid of what would happen when I showed the world who I am. And like a person that hadn't seen light in years, I had emerged from the darkness with this passion and light in my grasp, ready to show the world. And when I showed my world, I remember being rejected, dismissed, laughed at, brushed aside. But now when I share my light, most of the time it's loved, appreciated, and respected. There's been this amazing shift. I've started to inspire others. Every time my authentic expression lifts people up, the pain of the memories of the past diminishes. I'm starting to see so many positive benefits to sharing my light, and I can see how much of a choice I have in being true to myself, regardless of the effects. Speaking of positive benefits to expressing myself and sharing my light, this is my boyfriend, Nick. He's doing squats right now. As you can see, this is one of his warm-up sets. Nick has embraced every single side of me, and his embrace is changing me, giving me the confidence I was so thirsty for years ago. Around that time, when I was new to the gym, to finding something about myself and this world that I truly loved, something light within it all, I kept it to myself. I had this amazing physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual transformation, and I kept every single phase of that journey to myself out of fear. I'll never have those days back, and I live with a lot of regret. But what I do have is now. I can share my workouts, my unique ideas, poetry, songwriting, and this love I've found with Nick. I don't want to keep what I'm passionate about to myself anymore. And I don't want to hide the most real aspects of my personality anymore either. I think that if anything happens that hurts, I'll always come back to myself. At least now with Nick here, I know I have someone to count on that can bring me back if I ever get lost without my light. And if you feel as though you haven't found yourself, don't ever stop searching. And if you are finding yourself, and there's this magic spark of inspiration flowing through you, guiding you on your next steps, don't block it, suppress it, hide it like I did. Even when it feels uncomfortable, even when it looks messy, even when things aren't really working out, someday it'll all fall in place. Just keep going. Don't ever stop until you remember who you truly are.